Humankind is deteriorating the planet in ways we sometimes are not even aware of. Overfishing, killing animals, unsustainable agriculture, and deforestation are some examples of human actions that negatively impact our environment. The damage we cause to our environment is proportional to the damaged climate conditions we have experienced in the last decades. These are some of the consequences our world is suffering because of our constant neglect for the environment. Breeding seasons for the species throughout the world are changing, and so are flowering dates for plants. It has also been noted that generic patterns of fruits and vegetables are changing. Species residing in the Arctic regions are at special risk. Fortunately, organizations exist that are concerned for the well-being of these species that suffer because of human intervention in their ecosystem. Wildlife conservation is the practice of protecting endangered plants and animal species and their habitats. Many nations have government agencies dedicated to wildlife conservation, which help to implement policies designed to protect wildlife. Numerous independent, non-profit organizations also promote various wildlife conservation causes. The first step our government took to help with the creation of wildlife conservation locations was passing the Wilderness Act of 1964. This law established that in a land with increasing population and expanding settlement, some areas should be designated for preservation and protection in their natural condition. It is because of this law that in actuality the United States has more than 20 million acres of designated wilderness. In the Rio Grande Valley we can find several locations that serve the purpose of conserving wildlife. These enclosed spaces thrive with different species of animals and plants that the organization protects and helps maintain. The World Birding Center is a network of 9 sites that protect the wildlife dotted along 120 miles of river road. The World Birding Center in Edinburgh is one of the first of 9 World Birding Centers to open.
It was this whole network where a lot of cities were competing to be the site where where the World Birding Center would be built. It was just going to be one, but they saw so much potential in other locations that they ended up making 9. But ours was the ponds that are in our grounds were here way before they did the wetlands or the birding center around the wetlands. It's pretty much the ponds where the effluent water from the city comes by, and so they just ended up building the gardens and everything around it. And we basically provide habitat for wildlife, migrating birds, or butterflies, reptiles, mammals, anything. In our center we try to educate students and the public on nature, the importance of plants, animals, birds, all that stuff.
The center sits on 40 acres within a city park near the heart of the city of Edinburgh. The center is a showcase for wildlife and a native habitat site set amidst an urban setting. A simple way to help our environment is volunteering in places such as this one, in their many activities such as Planting Day, Spectacular Saturdays, and many other events.
The habitat improves greatly with the help of all the volunteers that come by here. And also, the volunteers help maintain our gardens, help maintain our nurseries. It can be a lot of work for a couple of people, and with the help of everybody, we can make sure that everything is looking good, that plants are growing the way they're supposed to be, that everything is healthy. And also volunteers, when they're here, they add eyes to our park, so they might be seeing things that we don't catch. So one of the things that is very important here in our park is that we keep track of all the wildlife that's coming in here. That way we know what's out there and we can tell our visitors what's out there.
The way nature centers like this work is through permits given by the National Wildlife Refuge System. These permits allow interaction between humans and wildlife while conserving wildlife and not disrupting the ecosystem. Even though the government does a lot to help places like this, a lot more could be done.
Other government officials, just have them themselves, in their campaigns and things like that, increase awareness of our sites, maybe create more funding for promotions of our sites, to spread the word on our sites a little bit more. And then also help out in whenever like refuges and stuff are trying to acquire land to preserve for habitat and continuing their support with that.
As humankind progresses technologically, medically, economically, and in many other aspects, we seem to forget to take care of what is most important, our planet. Many argue that conserving the environment comes with a high cost. It is important to recognize that a stable environment for us to live in is much more important than a good economy, because living in a land trashed by our inconsiderate actions would impede us from enjoying our monetary successes. What good would it be to have a big house and nice cars when we cannot even go outside because global warming has consumed the ozone layer and the sunlight could easily and quickly cause disease? Would you rather spend a little money now taking care of the environment or suffer the consequences of our neglect later? The key to a better environment is awareness and volunteering. Everyone can help.
Thank you for watching. We are